Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, Katy Perry and 5 other women become the first all-female crew to launch into space in more than 60 years. The White House freezes over $2 billion in federal funds for Harvard University. Filipino tennis sensation Eala back in court for the Oeiras Ladies Open, but her debut match was later suspended. And BTS Jin is set to release another solo album. Thanks for joining us. 6 women, including pop star Katy Perry, make history as the first all-female crew to launch into space in more than 6 decades. The women lifted off from West Texas aboard a Blue Origin rocket of billionaire Jeff Bezos. They traveled to the edge of space before successfully returning to Earth after around 11 minutes. The crew included Bezos' fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, and CBS host Gayle King. Upon touchdown on Earth, Katy felt over the moon and even kissed the ground. She also shared that she took a moment to sing while in space.
I did come around to just singing a little bit of What a Wonderful World. And I didn't pick one of my songs because, again, it's not about me. It's about the collective, and it's about the view that we get to see, that we're humbled by. My journey has always been about love and belonging, and I think that we have all felt that sometimes we weren't worthy or we didn't belong, and in certain ways, no matter all the accolades, no matter all the studying, no matter anything. And I think today we all said it, like, we belong here.
The spaceflight marks a high-profile success for Bezos' new Shepard launch vehicle, which is being developed for space tourism. Harvard University paying the price for defying U.S. President Donald Trump. Just hours after the elite college strongly rejected the list of demands from the White House, the Trump administration is freezing more than $2 billion in federal funds for Harvard. The demands, which the U.S. government stressed were designed to fight anti-Semitism on campus, include changes to Harvard's governance, hiring practices, and admissions procedures. Trump 2.0 has threatened colleges across the U.S. with funding cuts if changes in school policy weren't made. A migrant from Maryland mistakenly deported to El Salvador will remain in prison there. El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele, who met with U.S. President Trump at the Oval Office over the weekend, refuses to bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia back to the United States. As it turns out, Garcia is a member of the MS-13 gang, which the Trump administration has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. But Garcia's attorneys have repeatedly disputed this claim.
The question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
So you could release him inside El Salvador?
Yeah, but I'm not releasing, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country.
A U.S. congressional delegation and the Defense Department reaffirming strong ties between Manila and Washington. The delegation, led by Senator Pete Ricketts and Congressman Ken Calvert, paid a courtesy call on the DND. The agency says the meeting underscored the enduring and evolving defense alliance between the Philippines and the United States. It adds this relationship is anchored on shared democratic values and a mutual commitment to promoting peace, security, and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. The Armed Forces of the Philippines welcomes the inclusion of the West Philippine Sea on Google Maps. The AFP says this reaffirms international recognition of the country's sovereign rights as upheld by the 2016 arbitral ruling. That ruling invalidated China's sweeping 9-dash claim in the South China Sea. The term West Philippine Sea was made official in 2012 during the term of then-President Noynoy Aquino. It refers to maritime areas within the western side of the archipelago and our 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. Vice President Sara Duterte cementing her support for Senator Amy Marcos as she officially endorses the presidential sisters' re-election bid. Hannity reports.
Re-electionist Senator Amy Marcos drops red for black and along with it picks up a powerful endorsement.
Iboto si Senator Amy.
The new campaign ad shows Vice President Sara Duterte lending her voice on the country's supposed morning state. The caption even says, "Itim stands for Inday trusts Amy Marcos." The endorsement shapes a defining political moment, coming just a week after the Vice President returned from The Hague, Netherlands, where his father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, is currently in ICC custody. In the Senate, it was Senator Marcos who led the probe into how the elder Duterte was turned over to the ICC. That investigation allegedly deepened the rift between her and her brother, President Bongbong Marcos. Weeks earlier, the president had left her out of the administration's slate. The presidential sister later withdrew while citing her refusal to campaign with certain candidates. Although she says she likes being an independent, she now has the backing of two important personalities of the Duterte base. PDP Laban President and Senator Robin Padilla, and no less than VP Sara. Senator Amy's latest survey numbers place her outside the winning circle, ranking between 13th to 18th in the latest Pulse Asia poll. For the vice president, the stakes are even higher. With an impeachment trial looming, each seat in the next Senate matters. A Senate that, if aligned, could determine her political survival. Hannity, Billionario News Channel.
With just 27 days before the elections, new disqualification cases are filed at the Commission on Elections. For the details, Joash Malimban joins us on the line from the COMELEC headquarters in Manila. Joash, go ahead.
Election Watch Group, Contradaya, filed a complaint against the vendors party list before the Commission on Elections. According to Contradaya convener Danilo Arao, the grounds for the complaint are that the top three nominees of the party list do not belong to the marginalized and underrepresented sectors. The three nominees are Malulipana, Florencio Pesigan, and Cheryl Sandil. Arao says this is a mockery of the party list law and that they should be disqualified immediately. A disqualification case was also filed before the COMELEC today against Zamboanga City congressional candidate Kaysar Olaso. Attorney Janina Wang, representing Elfren Inclan, says that Olaso violated the Constitution by seeking a seat in the Congress despite allegedly not being a natural-born Filipino citizen. Inclan accuses Olaso of being a Cambodian citizen. We are still waiting for the COMELEC's response regarding the cases filed before the poll body today. Mai.
Thank you, Joash Malimban, reporting to us from the COMELEC headquarters in Manila. Long lines at NAIA's immigration counters are said to be easing thanks to a joint effort between the government and the private sector. Our mobility correspondent G. Baroga has the details.
Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon visited the Terminal 3 of NAIA Tuesday morning, and this time, there was a noticeable change. Immigration lines were moving faster even during the usual early morning rush. Just a few days ago, the scene was very different. Footage from the Transport Department showed long lines and frustrated passengers waiting to clear immigration. According to data from the new NAIA Infra Corp or NNIC, the busiest time at immigration is between 4 and 6 a.m. every day. So the DOTR, the Airport Authority, Immigration Bureau, and NNIC decided to team up for a quick fix.
Commissioner Joel Viado of Immigration. And Commissioner Viado committed that they would fill all the counters with immigration officers 30 minutes before the start of the peak hour, which is 3:30.
Immigration Chief Joel Viado says they've sent 60 extra officers to the departure hall, even pulling staff from other terminals and offices.
Nag-deploy po kami, not only from the main office, but also our support offices and also from Terminal 1, tumulong po dito sa augmentation.
Another new feature is an exclusive area for OFWs with 12 immigration counters just for them. It's meant to help ease congestion at the main lanes. All in all, the transport chief says this is a great example of how different agencies and the private sector coming together can make things better for everyone.
It's Holy Tuesday, it's 5 a.m. peak hours, and walang pila sa immigration. And makakaasa po mga kababayan natin na itong cooperation na to, tuloy-tuloy ito, para hindi lang pang Holy Week to, talagang araw-araw ng ganito.
In the past few days, Secretary Dizon has been making the rounds at different terminals to ensure travelers are safe, comfortable, and stress-free this long holiday break. Secretary Vince Dizon says the Department of Transportation is fully prepared for the influx of passengers, not only here at the airport but also in seaports and bus stations across the country. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
Several areas, including Metro Manila, are expecting high heat levels today, while some of our kababayans continue to travel for the Holy Week break. Paulo Barcelon is on the scene for us in Quezon City, where officials held a forum about the travel rush. Paulo, hi, what can you tell us?
Good afternoon, Mai. Pagasa's latest heat index forecast shows a blistering 40 degrees Celsius heat index here in the nation's capital today and until tomorrow. So travelers could expect hot weather as they move to their Holy Week destinations. Danger heat levels are also raised in several key areas in the country, such as in Etiaga, Isabela, Tuguegarao in Cagayan, Subic in Olongapo, Puerto Princesa, Palawan, Dumaguete, and Davao City. Pagasa weather specialist Joey Figueroa says humid and hot weather will be experienced throughout the Holy Week. Meanwhile, transport officials will arrest the driver involved in a viral video of an overspeeding bus in La Union. In the said clip, the uploader is heard asking to disembark from the bus due to its rapid speed. Normally, the Balawan to Bacnotan route takes around 15 minutes and the driver sped through this route in 5 minutes. LTFRB spokesperson Attorney Ariel Inton said they are now investigating who owns the bus and will coordinate the matter with the uploader. Meanwhile, QCPD District Operations Chief Colonel Roman Arugay said over 2,000 police officers will be deployed to key areas in the city this Holy Week break. That includes places of worship, commercial areas, and places of convergence. Mai?
Paulo, PITX officials also attended the forum, right? What did they say about the situation there? What are we expecting this Holy Week break?
Well, we can expect an increase in foot traffic at the PITX, and officials are also expecting this to increase over the next 48 hours as passengers are expected to hit the 200,000 mark either today or tomorrow. Now, PITX Corporate Affairs Officer Colleen Calbasa told reporters there are no to minimal delays so far for bus trips and that they have enough buses available to cater both booked passengers or chance passengers. Now, speaking of bookings, bus trips to Bicol remain fully booked, with chance passengers are still being admitted depending on the company's discretion. As of noon today, over 60,000 passengers are already in the PITX terminal and are set to go to different destinations this Holy Week. Mai?
Thank you, Paulo Barcelon, reporting to us live from Quezon City. We're taking a break. Still to come, top seed Alex Eala's debut at the Oeiras Ladies Open is suspended. Find out why when Newsfeed at Noon returns. The submersible drones recently found in Philippine waters most likely deployed by China. This is the initial result of the Philippine Navy's forensic investigation released earlier today. The Navy says there's a 55 to 80% chance the drones were indeed from China and were deployed for scientific purposes. But potential military implications have not yet been ruled out.
Why 55 to 80% is because of the components inside. Not all of them have markings that they were made in China. Others are available commercial off the shelf. They have the capability to receive, to process, to store, and to transmit data through satellite communications to a station on land, to a mothership, or to other drones.
Shifting to sports now, the temporary pause in Alex Eala's campaign in Portugal will resume later today. Her round of 32 match at the Oeiras Ladies Open was suspended on Monday due to rain. The women's world number 72 was in the middle of the second set against Dutch challenger Anouk Covermans when the suspension took place. Eala leads the match 1-0 and will pick up with Covermans 4-2 ahead in the second set no earlier than 6 p.m. Philippine time. Eala is the top seed in the Portuguese WTA 125 event, which is part of her build-up leading to her Grand Slam main draw debut at the Roland Garros in May. This year's NCAA football champions, the Ohio State University, are honored at the White House. President Donald Trump hosted the team, which defeated Notre Dame 34-23 to secure the national title on January 20th. They gifted Trump with a jersey and helmet.
I'm honored to call the Ohio State University Buckeyes national champions. You're the national champions, and you're standing right here at the White House. And it's a proud day for all of us, but it's a proud day for the Scarlet and Gray. Congratulations once again.
Also at the ceremony was Vice President J.D. Vance, who graduated from Ohio State. He ended the team's visit by nearly dropping their trophy and accidentally breaking it. The hometown of Rory McIlroy is celebrating his dramatic win at the U.S. Masters. His victory Sunday made him the first Irish to win the tournament and the first European to complete a career Grand Slam in golf. McIlroy is only the sixth golfer ever to achieve the feat. Locals in the town of Hollywood in Northern Ireland say they couldn't be prouder for McIlroy.
I met Rory early on when I joined the club about 22 years ago. So he was a young juvenile at that stage, a young junior. Lovely young chap even at that stage, and as he grew up we all knew that he would turn out to be a true gentleman, and what you see is what you get. Rory is down to earth and very, very self-critical, but we are beyond proud of what he has achieved.
Glued to my seat for 3-4 hours, couldn't move, and it was nail-biting, it was exciting, and just Rory was absolutely phenomenal, and there was no better winner of that green jacket than Rory.
The Olympics torches for the 2026 Italy Winter Games and Paralympics have been unveiled. Made from recycled aluminum, the torches were styled in two different versions, blue-colored for the Olympics and bronze for the Paralympics.
The design starts precisely from the flame, aiming to emphasize the flame and define a design that highlights the technical aspects. So the entire shape you see comes from the effect we wanted to achieve, while also trying to minimize unnecessary material. In other words, the casing by using a recycled aluminum casing, but a minimal one, as minimal as possible.
The Olympic torch will be lit at the ancient Olympia in Greece in November before its relay across Italy. Milan is the main host of the Games, which will run from February 6 to 22 followed by the Paralympics. Some 60,000 runners joined the prestigious Paris Marathon, among them Filipinos. The highlights from our Europe correspondent, Dick Villanueva.
Kenyan nationals have proven their dominance in the prestigious 2025 Marathon de Paris once again. Bernard Biwot crossed the finish line in 2 hours, 5 minutes and 25 seconds. He was crowned champion in the men's category. This also marked a new personal record for Biwot in the men's elite race. Coming in second place was Djibouti national Hassan Bou Ibrahim, and in the third place another Kenyan Sila Kiptoo. The women's category champion was Ethiopian Bidato Herpa with a time of 2 hours, 20 minutes and 45 seconds. Her fellow Ethiopian Dira Dira took second place while Angela Tanui of Kenya finished third. More than 100 Filipinos joined the marathon. They admitted it was tough to keep pace in the elites, so their main goal was to reach the finish line and to break their personal records.
Ayos naman po, sa awa ng Diyos nakatapos at naitawid sa 4 na oras na 24 minutes at na-break ko yung record ko last year.
Okay naman, pero lately nahirapan na ako sa dito sa 35 kilometers na.
Also participating in the marathon was the Noto Dog Meat Foundation based in China, which rescues dog from slaughter. They were joined by their pure ambassador, a rescued dog named Felicity. Eloy Sagalang, the only Filipina volunteer in the Noto Dog Meat Foundation, also ran in the marathon.
Hi, I'm Nikki from Noto Dog Meat, and I'm here today to run Paris Marathon. Noto Dog Meat has been campaigning to end the brutal meat trade in China since 2009.
The prestigious marathon is not only celebrated in the world of sports, but also for the advocacies and personal goals championed by the participants.
A total of 60,000 joined Marathon de Paris 2025, with 30% coming from different nationalities, including Filipinos. Dick Villanueva, Billionaire News Channel, Paris, France.
We're taking another breather. Up ahead, fans flock to a New York exhibit dedicated to K-pop superstar Jungkook. Stay with Newsfeed at noon. You're still watching Newsfeed at noon. Embattled rapper Sean Diddy Combs pleads not guilty to new charges. The hip-hop mogul now faces 5 criminal cases, including racketeering and sex trafficking. He entered the same plea to an earlier 3-count indictment. His trial is set to start in May, but his camp says it may seek a delay to allow it to review emails from an alleged victim. Combs, who has produced for the likes of Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, and Boyz II Men, has been jailed without bail in Brooklyn since September. Good news for ARMY as BTS Jin is set to make a comeback next month. Big Hit Music says the K-pop superstar will release his second solo album, Echo, on May 16. The record label adds the album features 7 tracks that showcase his versatile vocals. Echo will come about 6 months after the release of Jin's debut extended play, Happy. And another treat for BTS fans as an exhibition dedicated to Jungkook opens in New York. The exhibit, titled Golden the Moments, offers an immersive experience into Jungkook's journey from a rising star to a global sensation. Fans can explore a collection of his costumes, music videos, awards, and numerous photographs. The exhibit will run until May 11, 2:30 in Wall Street. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Billionaire News Channel. Good afternoon.